Wrapping up a CEBL Saturday night triple header. It is the Brampton Honey Badgers and the Vancouver Bandits. Hi everybody, welcome inside Langley Event Center to Envision Financial Court. I'm Chris Wiggins. What another great matchup we have tonight. The Vancouver Bandits looking to avoid dropping their third straight after their biggest loss since August of 2021, if you can believe it. Yeah, 33 points to the Winnipeg Sea-Bears on Thursday night. But if you know the CEBL, you know how fast things can change. Some more reinforcements have shown up for the Vancouver Bandits, and more on those new faces in a moment. Meanwhile, the Brampton Honey Badgers are also on a three-game skid of their own and on the hunt for some revenge as Vancouver spoiled the party earlier in the season, handing Brampton their first loss of this 2026 campaign. What a great night tonight. It is South Asian Heritage Night. I've got my colory, flowery shirt on right for the moment, and it's colorful, it's loud, it's always a great vibe here tonight. And it's time now to send it across the floor to the two on the call, Andrew Savory and Cheryl John Paul. And guys, fans are going to notice a few changes on that Vancouver bench.
Thanks so much, Chris. You're looking dapper as always, and you're certainly right about that one. Bandits without services for the first time in their history, Cheryl, of head coach and general manager Kyle Julius, not for tonight's game due to a pending league office review following an incident in their Thursday night tilt against Winnipeg. Also unavailable, Jalen House and Shamar Gibbons. So inserted into the head coaching position, his first ever head coaching stint, Ransford Brempong, the lead assistant coach, been with the Bandits for a while, Cheryl. And he's going to have his hands full, obviously. 2-game slide, Brampton on a 3-game slide. They have Sean East, the second back. Right. Bandits, Vancouver has Tyrese Samuel back, both back from NBA workouts. As we look at the stats for tonight's game, this is a crucial juncture at the halfway point of the season.
Well, if you look at it, you know, the offense has in some ways not been the problem, even though they didn't have a great outing in the previous game. It's really been a story about the defense, and both these teams are going to have to find a way to make their statement on the defensive end. What are they going to take away, and what is that going to look like?
And for Brampton, obviously coming in, great up-tempo team. But for more on the Bandits' offense and defense tonight, we'll throw over to Chris, joined now by Bandits head coach Rance Brempong.
Rance, tough one on Thursday night in Winnipeg. What's the key to bouncing back here tonight?
I mean, just sticking to what we do, which is playing hard, playing with pace, making sure that we stick to our system. We've got a winning organization. Like, that's been built by Kyle over the last many years. We're just going to stick to that and continue to do that tonight.
Some more reinforcements. Lloyd Pandy's here, Shamar Gibbons a few nights ago. What do those two bring to this team?
I mean, they bring a lot at the Canadian position, right? Those are guys that are starters that are going to add to our depth and carry us through that second half of the season.
Not going to sugarcoat it. Defensively, things have been a struggle for this team. What adjustments are being made, especially with a guy like Sean East on the other end tonight?
Well, you said it. Guys like Pandy and Shamar, those are defensive-minded players, right? And that's sort of like the culture of what we built here in Collegeville is a defensive-minded team. We're bringing in those guys. And I think today is going to be a step in the right direction as well, just in terms of really cracking down and making sure we get our stuff.
Coach, good luck tonight. I appreciate the time. Thank you. There is stepping in tonight, Coach Rance. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Chris. You heard it from Coach, not trying to make a Herculean leap. It's a step-by-step approach, and we're just moments away from tip-off. It's the 7-4 Bandits versus the 7-4 Brampton Honey Badgers. Don't go anywhere. We got tip-off right around the corner here on CEBL Plus, CBC Sports Gem, and CBC Sports YouTube.
Hello, Canada. Welcome to a new CEBL season.
It's been amazing, Canada basketball, to put that platform and give guys an out.
The crowds were bigger, the players got better, the quality of the game got better.
You gotta love it, Canadian.
Fasten your seatbelt tonight because we're going to have some high energy and some high flying stuff.
This is a trail. This is for real. And all that I gotta say, I'm in my zone.
No shortage of emotion, no shortage of intensity as anticipated.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Welcome back inside Envision Financial Court at Langley Event Center. Saturday night hoops action right around the corner, and we are celebrating South Asian heritage, one of the best, highest attended games of this season. Andrew Savory on the call alongside Cheryl Jean-Paul. And Cheryl, you've picked a few keys to the game for both sides, presented by CDIC. First, for the visitors, the Honey Badgers.
As been mentioned a few times, turn the tide. Nobody loves being on a loss streak, but you have an opportunity to get back a game that you dropped a little bit earlier in the season. Limit turnovers. As potent as their offense can be, they are also coughing up the ball a few too many times with a few too many players. So it's going to be important to not let this Bandits team get going early because of the ability to turn over the ball. Points in the paint. Again, we've got some dynamic guards. We've got some great shooters, and we're excited to see potentially a very high-scoring game. But where the Bandits have struggled in the last two games, and hopefully Tyrese Samuel's reintroduction to the roster will help, is how much they are giving up points in the paint. So if the Badgers can get into that space and make things happen, it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
And for the home side, the Bandits 4-1 at home, looking to get back in the win column. Your keys to the game for Vancouver, presented by CDIC.
Well, Coach Rand's talked about what they bring and the culture that they want, and they have to find a way to get their defense to win. That's a statement that needs to happen today. And of course, understanding that limiting their turnovers is going to be a key to that. Oftentimes what tends to happen is, depending on what turnovers you're tracking, but sometimes for some coaches, they talk about bad shots being turnovers. Own the arc. This team can knock down threes. They have multiple shooters. Exciting to see who gets things going and who keeps things going, because they've been giving up a lot of points, especially in the first half.
Few guards unavailable for Vancouver tonight. No Shamar Gibbons, no Jalen House. Welcome Lloyd Pandy, fresh from the Bundesliga in Germany. As we get ready to look at the starting lineups for either squad, you'll see a few familiar faces, but for the Brampton Honey Badgers, Landers Noli, Cameron Tyson, Matthew Moncrief, Keon Ambrose Hilton, and reigning CEBL MVP runner-up, Shawnee's II, fresh off of a workout with the Denver Nuggets. And for the Bandits, Jarkel Joyner, Tyrese Samuel, also off an NBA workout with Portland, Dwayne Notice, Miller Kopp, and the Aussie from Down Under, Mitch Creek. And Cheryl, as we look at a player to watch for either side, this one feels like it's going to be a firefight from start to finish. Who do you got for the Honey Badgers?
Well, Moncrief, from one perspective, it's more about the X-factor play. He is, and finding ways to really rebound, find some energy. And again, if the top players, shooters, inside presence cancel each other out, someone like Moncrief can be the reason why the Honey Badgers steal one from the Bandits in tonight's game.
And for Vancouver, welcome back Tyrese Samuel. They need him to be big tonight.
Well, it's not just what he does as an offensive player. It's the fact that he can break out like we're seeing here on a fast break situation. He changes the other team's decision-making when it comes to getting the points paint. So we need to make sure, and what they need to find out, the messaging that they're telling each other is get him touches, get him going early, and let him go to work.
Tyrese able to bring up the ball up the floor, able to post up, so dynamic as we get ready for tonight's tip-off presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. And tonight's officials, crew chief Matt Goebel, joined on the sidelines by Tanner Servo and Jackson James. 3 officials for tonight, a local crew. Brampton coming in after consecutive losses, as we mentioned. Calgary earning the first win of their season against Brampton. They came back nearly all the way, and Brampton now very happy to have Sean East back. Noli dials it up, cans it. Off to a great start. Landers Noli the second. Hits it from deep.
Not a surprise. Those shots were dropping in their previous game. And again, being able to get into Calgary, and Calgary was not going to let that game slide.
Responding in kind. Miller Coppy says, this is my home court. I know these hoops.
Trading baskets, keep things going. But again, who's going to be the first team that makes that really big defensive stop?
Cam Tyson pulls up from the corner. Rare miss for Tyson. That one's tapped around. Here's Notice. Up to Joyner. Taking over for House tonight. Finds Creek. Gets a step on Tyson. There's the swing. Extra pass. Tyrese dials it up. East the second. Right past Cobb. All the way to the cup. That's far too easy for one of the best in the CBL. Dwayne Notice right to the cup. Nearly leaves it short, but a little bit of English helps it roll in. Here's the swing. Tyson, league leading 5.5 threes a game. 0 for 2 to start tonight. Already broke the single season.
Those are good shots for him, though. Good looks.
Back to Mitch. Off the dribble. To Miller Kopp. Knotted at 5 early. East wants to dance. Noli the second pulls up. Misses, batted around into the hands of Jarkel. Here's Joyner working with his 905 teammate Tyrese. Dwayne to the cup. Extra pass to Mitch. That's his hand, folks. He's a southpaw from Australia, here for a couple games before rejoining his national team. East right to the basket.
That's exactly the impact that Samuel can have on this game. Again, the ability to be in the right place at the right time, simple block. We haven't seen a lot of blocks in the last few games.
Cobb, great defense up to Joyner. Block at the rim. Joyner wants to go all the way. He does so. Jarkel Joyner poised and calm in the lane.
We've seen him have these spurts of energy in the third quarter oftentimes, coming in as the primary guard oftentimes in the second half of games. And so for him to bring that juice to the beginning of the game, great sign for the Bandits.
Noli the second wants to post up. Rises. Too strong. Moncrief, he could be a threat on the offensive glass, showing exactly why the Bramptonian puts it back.
We talked about the X factor, offensive rebounding.
Cobb, nice decision, had the mismatch. First foul of the game to either squad, but Moncrief active on the glass.
Well, you know, again, it's that defensive rotation when Samuel needs to get pulled out of the charge circle to help on something else, and that secondary defender often isn't there to get the job done early enough. And so let's see if Brampton can exploit that.
Brampton keeps it alive. Keon Ambrose Hilton skies in for 2. Vancouver a little bit out of sync on that inbounds.
These teams are just trading the exact same scoring looks. Big three, rim attack, transition score. So again, the ability to not come away with empty possessions.
Tyrese to the cup, and one! Welcome back, Mr. Samuel. And a nice find from Dwayne Notice, who enjoyed one of his best games of the season. 9 points, 12 dimes up in Kelowna. That's the facilitation that we love to see from Dwayne.
Well, you know, again, when you have two guards, Joyner and Notice, the ability to create for both their post players and their perimeter players. We've seen Jarkel play with a lot of speed, but for him to be able to slow down and get inside touches, and then Dwayne Notice is just such a smart basketball player, unselfish, gives up the ball when he needs to. Sometimes, in fact, he probably needs to be a little bit more selfish to take some of those open shots, but, you know, getting the job done for the team.
Clearly want to run Tyson off the line. Goes all the way to Ambrose Hilton. Here's Kopp. Trailer, Mitch Creek. Another and one back-to-back to Vancouver. This is the transition offense they've been looking for. A little bit lifeless on the road in Winnipeg. Great start for the Bandits.
You know, they definitely need to make a statement for their culture when it comes to who they want to be defensively. Nothing easy. Strips in the paint. We said this earlier in the season. they're at their best when multiple players are a part of that defensive stop. Someone gets a deflection, someone else steals the basketball, someone else pushes it ahead, and all of a sudden, we've been to the free throw line now several times. Okay, and if you think about the Honey Badgers and what happened in their game against Calgary, they got caught in this cycle of just giving up too many transition scores in bunches.
Omajafo recently checked in, active off the bench, kicks it out to Ambrose Hilton. Tyson driving, tough pass, batted around. Notice right there, bodies hitting the deck. Last touch by Brampton.
Great
Green
effort.
also recently checked in, and that's the secondary defensive effort that we've been wanting to see from Vancouver. Mitch Creek has been calling for it. Here's Creek, 29 points against Scarborough. Didn't travel to Winnipeg. Back into the lineup tonight. High off glass, a little bit too strong. To Tyson, that's more than enough space for Cam. Batted around, here's Green, too strong. Jarkel. Going to work, little two-man action. Inside, off a foot, last touch by Tyrese. They could see they had a man on the inside. Good positive body language here from the Bandits despite the turnover.
I thought you were a little bit of a miscommunication, but obviously those two haven't had a ton of game reps together, so it's going to be an interesting dynamic between a great playmaker and a great finisher at the rim.
Vancouver up 5, don't go anywhere. First quarter action. Here you're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gems, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Looking to level up your future? Algoma University's Brampton campus is where ambition meets opportunity. Study in-demand programs like business, computer science, and psychology right in downtown Brampton. We offer the most affordable tuition in Ontario and are ranked #1 in Canada for scholarships and bursaries. Small classes, big support, real success. Algoma University Brampton, success within reach.
They said limit turnover. I just went with it, but it's like that's not what it was supposed to be.
All right, welcome back to the LEC Envision Financial Court. I'm Chris Wiggins. Off to a good start here. The Vancouver Bandits up on the Brampton Honey Badgers. A first-time CEBLer and a new face for Vancouver Bandits fans is former Indiana Hoosier and NBA G League champion Miller Kopp. And let me tell you, athleticism runs in the Kopp family. His dad, Will, went to the University of Chattanooga, Tennessee as a tennis player before a short pro career. His mom, no slouch either, a good athlete and a tennis coach herself now. Miller is a brother of 4 brothers. All have reached the Division I NCAA level in their respective sports, so there's no shortage of competition around the dinner table. Listen to this. Oldest brother, Braden, played football at Vanderbilt. Anderson, basketball at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. And the youngest, Maddox, is a quarterback who's suited up for multiple Division I programs. I can't believe what the driveway used to be like back for the Kops in their younger years. Guys, back to you.
Probably some intense matchups on the asphalt as Jarkel misses wide. Bandits unable to score out of that last time out in tonight's interconference game featuring Vancouver, a Western Conference presenting partner. Vancouver second in the West. The Western Conference game presented by Cal Tire. Here's Tyson rising up. Hunting for his first 3 of the night. Still has a goose egg for the league's top 3-point shooter. Jarkel right to the basket. Hello, Mr. Joyner. Spider-Man slinks his way to the hoop. Gets it to go off glass. Jarkel, he has that calm, cool, and collected demeanor. Something that I really enjoy what he brings to this offense. Doesn't get too demonstrative, plays well with his teammates, positive body language, even getting into it with the fans. Great energy from Jarkel Joyner.
Well, if you look at the ability for the ball to get up the floor quickly, any coach will tell you it gets there faster if it's thrown than if it's dribbled. And the transition push is coming from those defensive stops and getting the ball up quickly, and he has speed.
Vancouver up right now by 7, less than 4 minutes here in the first quarter. Brampton from the field shooting 28%, Vancouver shooting 58%. And hey, CEBL fans, this year you can follow along on social at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Cheryl, Brampton off to a 1 of 7 start from deep. Vancouver off to a 1 of 5 start. Even though the threes aren't falling, they've been able to build an early lead.
The transition push, again, the statement needed to be defense finds ways to win even when the shots aren't dropping. And again, being able to find multiple players. You look at the starting groups for both lineups, everybody has been scoring. So it's not relying too heavily on any one person at some point, but it definitely is making its deal. Now, we know that these Honey Badgers find ways to get back into games. They have their ability to knock down some big shots as well. And again, it looked like the game was getting a little bit out of hand. They went to 2 double-digit deficits against Calgary and went punch for punch from the three-point line in target scoring time. So this team's not going to go away.
Jarkel finishes off the and one. Vancouver up by 8. Sean East the second. Hunter. Sean East the second, just with 2 points so far. And here's Hunter right to the hoop. Nice swing over to Green. Prince Odro recently checked into the game. Right to the basket. Bounces around, one-handed rebound for Miller Kopp. Strong board.
Definitely the statement that he needs to make.
Deep from Miller, he hits it! That was back from Texas. My word, Miller Kopp. You know you're feeling good. That's that driveway game. He shot that from the street. Odro going against Parolin. Nice move off left.
Nice little spin around there move. Finds the matchup, goes to it. That's the difference now. Oftentimes we see, and we've seen that early in the game, trying to get Parolin going. This is kind of that plus-minus part of the quarter where when he comes in, finding a way to get some stops. We've seen him get 1 or 2 defensive plays, but now you go from getting scored on to turning over the basketball. So it's really trying to minimize some of those negative possessions.
Well, Majafo did a nice decision to rotate over, forcing the turnover. Going right to the basket, takes contact. Bit of a Charlie horse, driving to the rim was Green. That's going to be 2 shots. Cal Tire is a proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. Samuel checks back into the game in first minutes of the night for Michael Mulder. Been in and out of the starting lineup a little bit as of late, held scoreless against Winnipeg. This tonight could be a big confidence-building game for someone who's been searching for their offense a little bit.
But we also see Pandy stepping onto the floor, and again, as Coach Rands mentioned at the very beginning of the game, this is part of the defensive mindset. They're bringing in defensive-minded players. So with an 8-point lead, having just given up these free throws, it's going to be interesting to see if they can go on a defensive run and build a further lead here.
Great start to the quarter. Can they close it out? Pandy coming in, played recently in the Bundesliga. He's played Basketball Champions League in Turkey as well. Former CEBL Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. Fouls on the ground. It's going to stay with Vancouver, and Pandy spent some time with Niagara. Also played for the Blackjacks. Coming out of Ottawa, two-time national champ, player of the year for the Carleton Ravens. As good as they come when you're talking about homegrown products here from U Sports to the CEBL.
He's played on a few different teams throughout his CBL career. But we've mentioned this so many times throughout the broadcast. This is a great opportunity for Canadian fans to see professional Canadian basketball players playing on their home courts. Do so many great things overseas, but it must be so special when you're being able to play in front of your home crowd. This Brampton team, they've got 2 players that spent some time at Seattle University, Washington native. They've got, I'm sure, their own fans here in the gym, excited to see some of their products showing in the professional league that they're playing in.
Samuel. Jarkel around the screen. Less than 10 to work. Here's Mulder, fresh into the game, goes to the cup. Mike Mulder, high off glass. Great decision by the guard out of Kentucky. His three-pointer hasn't been too reliable, just takes it right to the cup.
Well, you know, we've seen him wait for that first three-pointer.
High up, nice cut. Prince Odro.
Gets it done inside. Movement early in the possession. Catches the defensive rotation a little bit late.
Tyrese leaves it short. Great D from Moncrief. Here's Noli the second. Omajafo pulls up. Gets the roll. Called for the travel though, as Omajafo was trying to put him on skates, took an extra step. Another turnover charged against Brampton. That's their 4th.
Well, points in the paint is something that the Honey Badgers need to attack, but it's almost like they're trying to do a little bit too much. This is a different team. We have our 2 big lineup for the Bandits, something that we haven't seen as a broadcast for a few weeks now. And so all of a sudden the dynamic of having someone in the key that's ready to rotate and change some shots, it's a different scoring look than the last 2 games have revealed.
Jarkel right to the cup. Often running are the Honey Badgers. Hunter, nice kick, gets it. Tyrese gets back in time, swats it off glass. Great denial from the big man out of LaSalle. You can see Alex Serta, the new head coach in Brampton, talking to Tanner Servo. Noli the second. Tapped out. Moncrief wants to go off the dribble.
3 seconds on the shot clock here for the Honey Badgers.
Hunter to inbound. He was in South Bay with Coach Serta. Here with the Honey Badgers. Quick key from Noli the second. He gets it! Noli from way back.
Big shot, big shot. The ability to knock down big shots again. This Honey Badgers team has so many different weapons, but it's so explosive when it comes at you. So both teams are setting a little bit. Obviously, some of the early turnovers have hurt them.
And Vancouver looking to end the quarter on a statement. Jarkel unable to hit from deep. It's a 6-point lead for the Bandits. Honey Badgers right in the thick of it. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa, thanks.
That's my job.
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
Welcome back to Envision Financial Court. It's a close game in the second quarter, right around the corner. Bandits holding on to a 6-point lead, 24-18 over the Honey Badgers. For the Honey Badgers, riding some serious offense and deep shooting from Landers, no lead the second, hitting a big three from way back. Cheryl, as we just saw, Jarkel with a game-high 7 points. This Bandits group already looks better than they did on the road, where they lost by 33 to Winnipeg.
Well, if you think about it, 18 points in one quarter is exactly where you need your opponent to be. We've seen record-breaking halves, record-breaking quarters in the last few games. And, this is the statement that you needed to make, that those were anomalies. This is who we are, if that's what you're trying to say in your halftime chat. That's what you're trying to tell your team before the game starts. This concept of what we want to do is win the game on defense. Again, not a ton of points from turnovers, but 12 points from fast break points for Vancouver. So the tempo that they're getting to the rim is working for them. For the Honey Badgers, you're looking at this saying, we're down by 6. That's 2 really good open shots for really good shooters who haven't found their shot yet. So they just need to settle down, knock down some of these open looks, and take care of the basketball.
Creek, checked by Moncrief. Gets to his left, leaves it short. Great defense from Matthew. No lead the second, 2 threes in the first quarter. Odro a factor as well. Mulder checking east the second. O'Board to Brampton, rising up, looking for his third 3 of the game. Doesn't fall. Pandy with the rip. Here's no lead the second. Right around Creek, leaves it short. Last touch by Vancouver. Count it, 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in one possession. They're going to look to rectify that here in the second quarter.
Moncrief is showing why he's so dangerous if you don't get a body on him. He's finding ways to just get into open space, obviously getting one of those offensive rebounds. But for the Bandits, bend but don't break. You're seeing a few possessions where it could have been a good scoring look, and every player that's turning the corner is being met by a help side division. That's a team that's committed to playing defense.
Loose ball for a moment. There's the step back. Last touch by Omajafo. Vancouver stands tall on the defensive end. You said it, Cheryl. Bend but don't break. Trying to regain their cultural form here in this homestand.
Omajafo tried to turn the corner a little bit too hard. Lost the ball on that one. But the isolation defense is standing tall. The defensive rotations are finding their way there.
Moncrief. Miller Kopp set to check back in shortly. Moncrief fouled on his way to the hoop. He was looking to pass it off. Pandy, the latest Bandit, repping the 1-4. Vancouver in black and Brampton in yellow. For Pandy, he's going to sub off. Miller Kopp back in. Hit some big shots in the first. A 3-pointer from way back, but Vancouver yet to score in this quarter, as has not Brampton. Moncrief was right to the cup. Took a ton of contact, no call, however. Here's Samuel to notice inside. Kopp was cutting, thought Creek might have finished the seam. Neither of them went for it. That's a turnover for Vancouver.
There's certain turnovers that you can't stand as a coach, and there's others where you're like, I'm okay with that.
And there's turnovers and there's fouls that you can't stand. Shawnee's the second, rising up. Tyrese closing out, takes away the landing space, just bowls him over. Easy call for Tanner Servo as Shawnee's the second has a chance for a 4-point play, and Brampton nearly within 2. And like we said, these beautiful pinstripes, Indiana Pacers-esque for these Honey Badgers, made of course by New Era. And New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys now by visiting CEBL.ca.
Well, nice to see East the second get off the ground for that one. Got bulldozed by Samuel, but in some ways you never want to see a 3-point play or a 4-point play for that matter from the 3-point line, but the defensive attitude of not giving up anything easy. So you've got half the idea there. The second half is just to make sure that you give the shooter time to land.
Miller Kopp. We watched that pregame as Tyrese, the one-handed O-board. That was pretty. Can he finish it off inside to Creek? Pushes up the floater, big to big, and that's a 2-point field goal, the first of the quarter for Vancouver. Noli the second bowls his way to the hoop. Bull in a China shop, and hello, Taj Green. No one boxed out the trailer. Brampton hanging around.
Athletic and quick, finding ways to get to the ball. So
inside to Tyrese. Going for the highlight. Green forced to commit the foul.
The Bandits have had some near highlight praise here, and if you look at the fact that these defenders on both ends are refusing to give up big plays to their opponents, that's the attitude of two teams that have been on a slide. There's no way that their coaches didn't talk about nothing easy. Don't let him get downhill. Don't let him get to the rim, and if he does, you got to send him to the free throw line, and misses the first, Samuel, for the free throws. Parolin looking to check back in.
Samuel misses them both. Noli the second. And here's East the second. A member of the 50-40-90 club last year. One of the top scorers in the CEBL also this year. Pull up. Bowled over as well, no call. It's a tie ball game. There's the swing. Kopp with the pump fake. Draws a defender, throws it up, swatted aside. Great defense in the perimeter. Noli the second, throws it down, a southpaw spike. Brampton takes their lead here. And Coach Rands Brempong wants to talk it over as it's been all Honey Badgers off to a big run to start the second quarter. 28-26. And don't go anywhere because these Honey Badgers are hungry. Vancouver going to look to rebound right after the break. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh yeah, like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
He's going. Welcome back to Envision Financial Court, where it's a Honey Badgers uprising here in the second quarter. Cheryl, you called it out, a 10-2 run. It's been all Brampton. Landers Noli the second, Sean East the second, Prince Odro a factor, Taj Green, Matthew Moncrief already 5 rebounds. The list goes on. The complimentary and the star pieces are all firing on all cylinders.
10 points from turnovers for the Honey Badgers coming into this quarter with only 4. So the defensive statements, like I said, both teams have to figure this out. The turnovers that are costing them empty possessions on offense, and the other team being able to get up in the floor. So this is very eerily similar to the Honey Badgers game against Calgary Surge, where there were 7, 8, 9 different lead changes in that first half before they let Calgary go off on a pretty big run in the third quarter. So for them, they've done this before. Is history going to repeat itself? Being able to maintain leads based on not turning over the basketball and great defensive stops. And so first possession of this quarter results in a turnover again for the Vancouver Bandits. And Honey Badgers reclaim the possession with a 2-point lead.
We're going to play through Jarkel, throws up an air ball. Keon Ambrose Hilton, corner tray. Batted around. Vancouver just needs to fight for these 50-50 balls. They get it there. Pandy's going to get called for a double dribble. Going to bring it all the way back to Vancouver's baseline. Yet to find his way to the score sheet. Like we mentioned, no Jalen House tonight, no Shamar Givens. And this could be a bad sign for Vancouver. The Bothell, Washington native Cam Tyson, the best sniper in the CBL, back in. East the second. Right by Creek, throws it up. Nice floater, Parallel the board. A key juncture here for Vancouver. Offense sputtering, looking to regain its form. They go to their MVP, Mitch Creek, throws up with the right. Nice touch to Dom Parolin on the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
Great feed by Creek. And again, we've seen some of the guards trying to find that pass for Parolin in the past, and the eye contact gave him a second to get ready for it. Allows him to do his finish. It's not necessarily going to be a historic dunk that we've seen Samuel do, but it still counts for 2 points regardless of whether it looks like.
Pandy kicks back out. Creek out to Pandy. Corner three doesn't fall. Pandy, he can hit that. No more as a slasher, and for his defense, doesn't go. Tyson. Got to keep him in a phone booth. Can't give that man any space. Halfway through the second quarter. Kopp trying to contain East the second. Bounce pass inside. Great defense from Miller Kopp.
Tough matchup for Kopp. We've seen him struggle defending small guards on some of those switches, but the help behind him has been so solid.
Lloyd Pandy right to the cup. We talked about it. Best off the dribble. Goes right to the basket. Vancouver back ahead by 2. His first basket in the black and orange.
Tyson is adamant that that was not his foul. Refs are having a little bit of a chat.
It's going to be important here because Cam Tyson's sitting on 2 fouls. They're going to move it over. One to number 25.
55.
Andy, 55, excuse
55.
me. Shawnee's the second.
Yeah.
I was trying to read Tanner Servo's hands.
There was a 5, there was a 2,
Yeah.
there was a few 5s flipping back and forth, but when he said 5-5, he showed us both sides of his hands, so.
Might be time I get glasses, Cheryl, because my ears are clearly failing me. Pandy. Going to finish the and one, looking to make amends. Here's Creek. Appealing for the foul, doesn't get it. Here's Noli the second. Tough bounce pass, great catch. Wide open, Cam Tyson. Still hanging on to a goose egg. Jarkel right around the defense, as easy as 2. Watch him go, Jarkel Joyner.
This has been a little bit of a struggle for the Honey Badgers.
Too much space.
Struggle no more when you can knock down that shot.
Noli the second, his 3rd tray of the night. Can't leave him open. Parolin inside on the catch. Touches it, swing. There's an extra. Travel called there against Miller Kopp. Brampton basketball. And hey, CBL fans, this year Lotto Max now gives you even more chances to win with new prizes of $100,000 every draw. Get your Lotto Max ticket now. Must be 18 plus to participate. He's the second. Tapped around. Vancouver gets the steal. Joyner thought about it. Looking to get a higher percentage shot. Creek throws it up. Multiple players there. Cobb tries to keep it alive. Last touch by the Bandits. Back to a 1-point ball game. Timeout called here by Coach Serta. Looking to chat things over as Vancouver holding on to a narrow 1-point margin. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching CEBL basketball, and a lot more yet to come here in the second, as it's a game of runs, Cheryl. Vancouver surrendered the lead. Brampton made its push. Now they're coming back a bit as Vancouver has regained its form. Feels like this one might go wire to wire the rest of the way.
Interestingly enough, you're thinking about the top teams in each conference, West versus East. This was going to be a barn burner. We've seen some great games from both of these teams against some of the other top teams in the conference, but because of some of these defensive lapses for both teams in the last 2 or 3 games, all of a sudden this game feels like it has a different kind of urgency to it. It's not necessarily like a playoff push kind of urgency. It's we need to refine some of the things that have been successful. Both these teams started the season off being talked about, 2-game run, 3-game run, look at what they did when they went out east, look at what they did when they went out west. And then all of a sudden you get to this middle lapse, you have players that are leaving for NBA camps, and all of a sudden you're looking at some key pieces for both rosters missing and who's going to step up. So, from a coaching perspective, you may look at this and say, when you have your top guys that are going out to do some of these NBA camps, it's an opportunity to see who else can step up. Sometimes you're saying it's not about the other guys at this point. We need our top guys back. We see the challenging speed that East the second can play with and how you have to find him at every single moment when he has the ball in his hands. And we've seen the impact that Tyrese Samuel makes defensively, offensively, all the little things that he does. The defensive attitude, this is what they were hoping for.
Moncrief gets it over the timeline. Pandy thought he had last touched it off his thigh. It's going to stay with the yellow and black. And these teams seemingly with inverse records last year. Vancouver 19-5, Brampton 5-19. A huge bounce back year as Noli the second cans it. Back in front. Landers Noli the second up to 13, a game high. Jarkel Joyner, soft touch on the lay. Back and forth they go, trading body shots here on a Saturday night at LEC. Dialing it up, heat check. Landers Noli the second gets his own board. Can't let that happen, and you can't let that man shoot. Shawnee's the second, as Moncrief has been all over the glass tonight, wreaking havoc on the Vancouver boards.
Every once in a while you see an uncharacteristic play. I think for Mitch Creek, defensively, that would be one. The ability to be able to challenge and not give up that offensive rebound. So here's another opportunity for their defense to tighten up a little bit. Joyner just picking up a foul, trying to stay as close as he can to Tyson. Stifling defense. Both teams trying to get up in the passing lane. Sometimes playing with that level of intensity up at the perimeter allows some of these guards to turn the corner. We saw Joyner do it on one end, East the second on the other. Noli the second finding ways to knock down some big shots. Nearly half of his team's offense. So right now, there's one problem for the Bandits to solve, and that would be find Noli the second and find him quickly.
And clean up the glass when and where you can. Pandy does so. Up the court tonight, the third, recently checked in. First action of the evening. Joyner, down it up. He said, hey, Miller, I got you. I'm just going to line this one up from straight center. Odro, he can hit that. He does so. The 5-year CEBL vet, the 2022 champion, bringing that championship polish. Noli the second says, no, he touched it again after I tapped it, leaning ahead. And you love to see the passion from Landers Noli the second. Only a few games played in a Brampton jersey, making an impact already. Joyner, two-man game with Tyrese. Spin cycle, tries to throw it. Baseline on the bounce, foul called. It's gonna go against Odro.
Appreciate the fact that he took responsibility for that. There's some games where it seems like no one has ever fouled in their whole basketball career. Puts his hand up, gets back to work.
To the top three-point shooters in the CEBL as Miller Kopp throws it up. Tyrese Samuel puts back the garbage. Tyrese lunging in there. Commits the reach against Landers Noli II. For Tyrese, going to be his second, brings in Dom Parolin. And for Rans Brempong, his first ever game as a pro head coach, pretty solid so far, but a long way yet to go. 4-point lead for Vancouver and a turnover from Brampton, a little bit of miscommunication.
Both teams want to finish this quarter and this half on a positive run. It's going to require for both teams to take care of the basketball. Just finish the shots that are being created.
Joyner, ISO, pulls up. All the way up court, Dom Parolin was there. Odro caught it, had no space to work with. Great hustle defense to get back from Dom. A minute and change left in the first half.
This is where he shines when he's not necessarily playing the bulk of the minutes and has to figure out all the different parts of what they're doing on offense, on defense, sprints back, gets the job done defensively.
10 to work for Jarkel. Three to put it up. Miller Kopp right to the cup, passes it around. Cam Tyson was right there. Not a lot of clock to work with either. Vancouver responds with a turnover of their own. Chance to go 2 for 1 for Brampton.
Kopp has tried to turn the corner once or twice. We saw that from the corner turnover that he had earlier. And then for this one, trying to do a little bit too much with possessions of the basketball. They're going to finish with a little bit more of a defensive stand here. Him picking up the second foul. Mitch Creek stepping back in now to finish this. 44 seconds left of this first half.
Tyson still scoreless tonight, up to Sean East the second. Pulls up, doesn't go. Odro's there, great tap off glass. They're gonna have about a 5-second pad on game clock, shot clock. Excuse me, about a second differential. Jarkel just gonna wait it out. 10 for Jarkel. And there's the take foul. Noli the second, still got another. It's Pandy, Joyner, Parolin, Creek, and Knight the third on the floor for Vancouver. We're gonna enter halftime.
Green coming in for Tyson here. Defensive stance with a little bit more length and height.
Has to get up in a hurry. Here's Joyner, throws it up right at the hoop. Look at John Knight the third, flying in out of nowhere from the rafters, hits the glass. And what a time for John Knight III to introduce himself to this game as Vancouver back to a 4-point lead. Still anyone's ball game as we see Knight III skying in off glass, had time to work with. And that is the sign of energy that Vancouver needed. And although their offense isn't fully clicking right now, the defense holding Brampton to just 37 points.
We've seen a lot of 50, 60-point quarters, both for and against some of these teams. So for both teams, if they wanted to make a defensive statement, this is a great start for that.
And with a lot more analysis, we'll throw it over to Chris, joined now by Jarkel Joyner with the game-high 14 points. Over to you, Chris.
No. Spider-Man saving the city again tonight. 14 leading all scorers. What's working so well for you right now?
Just the pace of the offense, man. Moving the ball, getting easy ones. Mitch playing with Reese back. They make it easier, so things like that.
Brampton's a deep team, and this has been a half of runs. How do you contain those runs in the second half?
We know it's basketball. They're going to go on their runs, but we got to see how far they can go. And we're going to go on the run, so we got to stop their run earlier than they stop ours.
Can we get you a Spider-Man celebration after some threes? Can we see what that looks like?
I'm going to make one after again.
All right. Good luck in the second half. There is Jarkel Joyner, 14 points, leading all scorers here tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Chris. Jarkel with a game-high 14 points, but still work to do. Coach Rance Brempong looking for his first career W. No Kyle Julius tonight. Still a long way from that. And hey, folks, coming at the half, we have a CEBL feature from rookie to pro with David Mutabazi. Chris will interview Alex Serta from the Honey Badgers, their head coach. And we'll have first half stats, and we're going to revisit Cheryl's players to watch and much more. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Inside, Mutabazi, inside, and the hometown product delivers.
Hi, my name is David Mutabazi, and I was born in Rwanda. I was raised in Canada. I live in Langley, BC, and what I bring to the locker room is like the spirit of like work and joy and like being so teammate friendly and teammate oriented. And I think like that translates to a lot of my role on this team. Like I'm here to connect and be someone who adds on to the team always. And I think everyone should always have that as a baseline, but I know that that's my biggest strength. Like there's many things that I can do well, and for me to know that I'm surrounded by so many people who are so talented and have so much experience, and I can just learn from them. I think like having that as a mindset, I think already seeps out that culture that Kyle and the Bandits have instilled with the team. That leadership role can look very different, like Jalen Shirley and Shaden Smith as well, like people I've been playing against for the past 3-4 years at U Sports, and to see them come in this space and obviously have such a big impact as they have. My leadership is just to like be alongside them and just be there and show them that like, hey, like keep working, keep pushing, like try to not be a hypocrite about how I act as well, and keep them accountable to how I would as well be, like want to be held accountable. That type of game like that I want to kind of resemble is to be a player that can be used for anything. Like to be someone who you can put him in any position and they'll make an impact and they won't do too much, but they'll play that role well and they know those details, and just to help the team in any way is the best type of player you can ever be. And that's what I always try to think about and have in the back of my mind, because I think I have a lot to give. I've always wanted to be different things. I've always wanted to be a scorer. I want to be a defender. I don't think I can be great at all those things, but to the level that I'm playing at, and the professional level, and seeing that there's guys who have mastered some things and other stuff, and seeing that I myself can add on to their game, add on to those teammates that I have, add on. Like if that's the mindset that I have and like have learned and practiced into, I think I'll have a successful like career for however long I play. And I think the standard is immediately something that you feel when you're in a pro environment, and to play to that standard is like a niche. Like a lot of people, it's something that can like destroy their bodies or destroy them mentally and so on. And I think I found that it's something that I'm able to handle and like play to, right? And I've seen that there's moments where I might not play well, and maybe that's the standard that environment is giving me and so on. But I think to the higher level that I've been exposed to, like I think I love that competitiveness, that energy, the everyday work. Like that's something that I enjoy, and I feel like I play to, and my abilities like complement. Learning to play your role doesn't mean that you are a role player necessarily, and that mindset can really like change someone's game for the better. Representing Rwanda, like my national and my home, like that was out of this world. That was a wonderful experience, something I truly couldn't pass on, and my family was the most proud. My parents, the basketball world is a lot and like very nuanced to them, and it's hard for them to understand, but when they heard that I had been called up for the national team, like that was something that they were so overjoyed about. And that just to see that the impact that has on my home and my culture, it was awesome. It was incredible, truly.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte. Instant hydration.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh yeah, like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
Welcome back to halftime at Envision Financial Court. It's one of the best dates on the Bandits regular season calendar. Cheryl, South Asian Heritage Night. We're listening right now to Sukhshinder Shinda. This crowd loving it. They're happy the Bandits are ahead. It's a 41-37 point margin right now, a 4-point lead. As we look at some highlights from the first half, Bandits offense has come and gone. Brampton's been active on the glass, but the defense has been a nice sign for Vancouver after getting blown out by Winnipeg.
Being able to capitalize on some of the shots that they're getting, but the reality is you still got to knock them down. So being able to shoot the ball well has been an identity piece of this team offensively for the last several games that they've played. But their challenge now is, can they play the defense that they want to and knock down those shots? We've seen Jarkel Jonah great to the rim, turn the corner, play with speed, and it's speed that we've become accustomed to, knowing what he can do when he's able to turn the corner. So we're looking at, again, points from turnovers for Brampton Honey Badgers. They had 10 as they started that run in the second quarter. They were only able to get 2 more points from turnovers, so it's really not finding a way to turn defense into offense from that side of things.
And a quiet night for both reigning CEBL MVP, of course, Mitch Creek, as well as the runner-up in Sean East II. Sean East held to just 8 points. Mitch Creek with 6. Not what you expect, but we were talking about don't poke the bear. Someone who's been very quiet tonight, Cam Tyson, for these Honey Badgers.
0 for 5 so far from the three-point line, and that's the only offense that he's been looking for. So similar to what we saw when we saw Mulder come in and get to the rim, and then we saw, Dwayne Otis turn the corner, and then we saw, John Knight III come in and get to the rim. Maybe just getting an inside touch first and then going back to the scoring looks that you're accustomed to. So looking at our shooting percentage here, obviously 3-point, nothing to write home about. You're not shooting the ball well. How are you going to overcome that? Obviously getting to the glass is going to be a big part of it. So for the Honey Badgers, 11 offensive rebounds of those 27 total. That's a great way to counter, but at some point those shots also need to drop.
Brampton getting some contributions from their bench as well, 12-8 in the secondary scoring. A lot more halftime analysis right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
These dancers.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa, thanks.
That's my job.
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
redtag.ca.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa. Thank you. That's my job. So you were saying...
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
Most of our clients who come through our door who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back to halftime at Envision Financial Court. Bandits holding on to a slim 4-point lead. Cheryl, you had a few players to watch tonight for the visitors. You had called it out. Who do you got and how did it go?
Well, again, the impact on the boards is something that we wanted to see from both of the bigs. Moncrief, Samuel, getting the job done. Here we see Tyrese Samuel with one of his offensive rebounds. The ability to finish up broken plays. Again, great scoring looks. Sometimes you just need a good scoring look to make something great happen, and that follow is something that's been missing. And on the other hand, for the Honey Badgers, Moncrief leading the team with 6 boards. The ability to make things happen off the rim, kick it, keep finding it, and getting the job done on the glass. So with 2 offensive rebounds and 4 defensive offerings and anchoring some of the things that need to get done. Both teams right now, these rebounds are even more critical when both teams are not shooting a three-pointer well. We saw that in the graphic at halftime. 21% for the Honey Badgers, 25% for the Vancouver Bandits. And so here we see not a ton of offense from either of these teams, but the X-factor part of both of their abilities is what happens on the glass.
And like you said, Moncrief played some college ball at Seattle. Hopefully he has some friends, obviously a Bramptonian originally, but some friends coming up making the drive. But Tyrese Samuel as well, recently this past week, spent some time NBA workout with the Portland Trailblazers. We'd love to hopefully hear, we'll have to talk to him post-game how that went. He's signed overseas right now, committed to go to France, but he's locked in on this year with the Bandits, 7-4 right now. But for Tyrese, maybe a little bit of rust in his first game back.
Well, you go from individual workouts into gameplay again. Sometimes you've been working on different things, trying to focus on what, the next group is looking for. So what's going to be interesting for both of these players and both of these teams is you've done half of the job. Now the expectation is you have to finish it, though.
Tyrese held back due to a little bit of foul trouble in the first half. 3 fouls right now. And Cheryl, when we look back at your keys to the game for either squad, how have they been doing so far?
Well, for the Honey Badgers, turn the tide. I mean, we won't know that until the game is over. They keep punching back, but the turnovers, with 9 turnovers in this first half, they have been able to score. It's just the other team that has to commit the turnovers, not them.
Your keys to the game for the Honey Badgers presented by CDIC. We'll revisit the Bandits shortly, but we're going to throw it over to Chris, joined now by Honey Badgers head coach Alex Serta. Over to you, Chris.
Coach, your thoughts on the first half?
We're competing, we're really playing really hard, we're in the fight, so we're looking forward to a good second half.
Defensively, what does your team need to do to sustain some runs from Vancouver?
Yeah, get back in transition, build an early wall, make them score through bodies, defend without fouling, contest to get a shot, and then hopefully turning those stops into offensive advantages on the other end.
Sean East returns for you guys tonight after some NBA workouts, maybe a quieter half for his standard anyway. How do you get him going?
I think he's setting the table for his teammates. He's playing the right way. He's making the right plays, so he's playing a good first half.
Appreciate the time. Good luck in the second half. There is Brampton Honey Badgers head coach Alex Serta. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Chris. Coach Serta locked in. Cheryl looking to make a run to open the third quarter. And it's going to be interesting to take Coach Serta's feedback and then cross-reference that against Vancouver's keys to the game presented by CDIC, because Coach Serta looking to limit some of these keys that you've outlined for Vancouver.
Can defense win? Defense can win when you sustain it over an entire game. So they've managed to be able to look at this 37-point halftime score is what they were giving up in quarters for the last 2 games. So already that's a statement that you want to make. Limit turnovers. They themselves 8 turnovers, and they gave up 12 points by that. Owning the arc is probably the biggest issue right now. The Bandits are not used to being at halftime only having hit 3 threes. So we're going to see who the X factor is from beyond the arc. But the reality is, as long as your opponent shoots worse than you are, you're doing okay.
And when you talk about that 3-point shooting without the services tonight of a Jalen House, we haven't even talked about it, surprisingly. When you think about it, Jalen House goes off for a franchise record 42 the other night. Now tonight, Jarkel Joyner doing the bulk of the scoring for the Bandits at 14 points, but you do lose some of that shooting without the services of a Jalen House.
It's a completely different look. Jalen House had a lot of open space to work in that Winnipeg game. Clear out offense and plays with speed. Let's not forget the fact that he's leading the lead in assists, so when he moves, other people get their scoring looks as well, but the inside presence of Tyrese Samuel impacts the guard play. Jarkel Joyner doing a lot of his damage when he can get downhill in transition. So it's not necessarily 0-0, but the urgency that both these teams have to play with. Let's forget what happened in the first half. Make your statements. As Coach Alex said, make the Vancouver Bandits play through bodies, so it'll be interesting to see how physical this second half gets.
Shawnee's the second with the rock. It's anyone's ball game, just a 4-point spread. Noe the second. Looks to take Samuel off the dribble, does so. Right to the basket, Samuel is there. Look at the ability of Noe the second to absorb contact. Creek in the lane, fouled at the cup. He's gonna go to the line for 2 shots.
Rim attack to rim attack.
Creek just 6 points in that first half, but active here early in the third. Moncrief meeting him at the cup in transition. Creek 10 of 13 from the free throw line in his only game in a Bandits uniform this past Monday against the Shooting Stars. He hits that one.
It's going to be realistic for different players to go quiet at different times this season. Crazy to think that we're almost at that halfway mark of the season, and rosters have changed so dramatically that what do you expect game by game from each player? Like the coaches have both said, it's about their culture, their styles of play, and staying and sustaining that consistently.
Noe the second has Creek on him. Pulls up, nice move. Tapped around, Notice gets it. Up to Joyner. Off and running is Vancouver. Miller Cobb, corner tray. Doesn't go. Moncrief going right to the basket. Takes contact as Miller Cobb rotates over. Clipped him a bit. The Seattle U product going to work. Matthew Moncrief, don't want him to get going. Still no baskets for Cam Tyson yet, but another starter on Moncrief, so active, so agile, showing off the athleticism. Doesn't drop. Here's Creek. Around the back to Kopp, absorbs contact, great body control from Kopp on the inside.
What do you do when you're not sure whether your shot is dropping? Keep moving until something opens up. Mitch Creek's such a great playmaker from that short corner spot, so dangerous because he can just turn and score himself.
Ambrose Hilton keeps it alive, great hustle, second chance opportunity. Tyson doesn't go, and we have a foul off ball. That's going to be Samuel's fourth. Jackson James with the call, and that puts Samuel in a perilous position. And for Coach Rance Brembong, he has a decision on his hands to make here. Let him play or see what happens as Ambrose Hilton goes right to the cup.
And you know that that's a matchup he's going to exploit. He knows that Samuel has 3 fouls. Can't really challenge him the way he wants to. And obviously we see Parolin getting ready to check in, understanding how important it is to have Samuel in on the floor, but not in foul trouble.
With Samuel about to come off, you see him look at Parolin. He's like, oh, not me. But Coach Rans needs you in the fourth, Tyrese. And for the rest of this quarter, you can expect they're going to play through Mitch Creek on the post. Parolin comes in, losing a little bit of size, but Creek heading back to the free throw line for an and-one opportunity. And tonight's Western Conference game presented by our friends at Cal Tire. Bandits with a 7-4 record, second in the West. Winnipeg picking up the win. They're 8-4. Top spot, and they'll be back here at Envision Financial Court next Saturday as Creek converts the and one.
Tyson, I think, was also trying to sell the 55 versus a 5 there. That time the refs are saying, no thanks, that one was on you.
Joyner bobbles it around. Noe the second meets him at the apex, and Joyner's going to go to the free throw line. Really like what Landers Noe the second has brought. Played all over this past year in D1 France. Didn't play versus Vancouver last time out, but he's really brought them a lot of offense here tonight, and good hustle to get back and prevent the easy layup.
Just such a tough matchup. A little too fast for a small forward, a little bit too big for a guard. But these are some of the matchups where, again, if your team defensive rotations are sharp, then someone like that has a little bit more static to get through. And
back to a 7-point lead quietly for Vancouver. East the second, checked by Joyner, gets space, pulls up, Moncrief, far too easy. A bull and a China shot, Matthew Moncrief. No one boxing him out, time and space under the hoop.
That corner rebounder has been an Achilles heel for the Bandits. The ability to put a big body there as soon as that shot goes up. Someone needs to drop down and find that rebounder. Moncrief taking massive advantage of that situation, and you know that's not the only time he's going to do that.
Flames and more flames for Miller. Kopp grab the O-board. He says, you don't want to check me, I'm going to throw it back up. He does so. Bandits up 8. Pulls up. Noe the second. A firefight at LEC. Welcome to the Wild West, where we trade blows back and forth. Brampton right in it. Notice. Responding. Threes raining here in the second half here in Langley.
Okay, someone just press pause on the three-point line because both teams are finding their substance.
Letting them play right now. Ambrose Hilton tapped around. Look at them go for it. Parallel Creek, he gets it. Ball goes to Vancouver. Off to the races. Creek says enough's enough. Tons of contact onto the hoop as Moncrief tracked Creek all the way to the tin. But the Aussie going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots. And we hope Moncrief's okay. Slow to get up. Looks like he might have gone and clipped. Some inadvertent contact. We have a bench warning. A little bit of chatter coming from the Vancouver bench. Moncrief going to check out, gets a breather. Odro, Noe the second, East the second, Cam Tyson, all on the court for Brampton, as well as Keon Ambrose Hilton, part of that Edmonton Stingers duo that came over to Brampton in the offseason. A huge part of what got their fan base so excited. But what's the other part we haven't talked about? Jameer Nelson Jr. also has reported still in Puerto Rico, I believe, in playoffs postseason. This team can only get better, and that's a scary sign if you're in the East. They're already 7-4 and probably going to go north.
Adding pieces. The goal is always to not find little lulls or drop-offs, and perhaps that's what's just been happening to him with this 2-losing game.
Tyson searching for his shot. He says, I don't even need any space. I'm just going to check if I'm hot. He does so. Creek off the dribble, throws it up, leaves it short. Last touch by Parolin coming in on the glass.
Mitch Creek is working really hard to find that contact. The refs not necessarily on the same page as him. And here come the Honey Badgers.
Ambrose Hilton rises up from 3. He hits it. Shortest spot of the arc. Coach Rands wants to chat things over. Back to a 4-point lead for Vancouver. Don't look, folks. Here come the Honey Badgers, feisty with it, and a corner tray brings it back to a narrow 4-point deficit. We got lots more action right around the corner. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back to Langley Event Center and Vision Financial Court. We got a great game here on South Asian Heritage Night. I'm standing with international superstar Sukshinda Shinda, a pregame show, a halftime show. What does it mean to you to be a part of a cultural celebration like tonight?
I feel very privileged to be here and seeing so much cultural events going on, and it's about spreading love, and that's what I love and that's what I do.
Yeah, you often talk about how your music is all about spreading love. What does that message mean to you?
It means peace, man, and everyone's equal. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Just love the music and love everyone. Peace on earth.
Beautiful night, lots of dance, lots of celebration, lots of colors. The Bandits do such a great job of celebrating different communities and different cultural groups. How great is it to see a professional sports organization, do this so well?
I mean, I'm very amazed at the public and the way they arranged everything, and plus the players, they're doing a great time. And it's the first time I've seen a basketball match, and I'm very excited about it. It's very great to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Enjoy the rest of the game, and thanks for joining us here tonight. There is Sukshinda Shinda, a halftime performance and an international superstar. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Chris, and what a halftime performance that was from Sukshinda Shinda. The crowd getting into it, pregame, halftime, lots of energy here at Envision Financial Court. Bandits up 4, but it's been all Brampton the last couple of minutes, and it's been all Landers Noli the second, gets his own O-board. Another possession for the Honey Badgers. He's the second, extra pass. Ambrose Hilton from the other side doesn't go.
Hunting matchups.
Pandy right to the cup. Lloyd Pandy searching for his shot tonight. That's going to be as easy as 2. Here comes the gamble. Coach Rands bringing back in Tyrese Samuel as Noli the second, too strong. Batted around, can't hold on to it. Inside pass. That one falls. Too easy for Brampton, getting everything they want in the paint right now, and that's why Samuel's about to check in.
Well, the challenge for the Bandits is if you want to play that aggressive at the three-point line, you have to have a rim protector in the key.
Pandy responds, but to your point, Cheryl, that's why Samuel's coming back in.
Well, he's going to have to be a rim protector without jumping on someone at the three-point line, so he's going to have to play smart, knowing that it's so critical for his team's success for him to be on the floor.
There was the double on Noli the second. Knight the third's going to check back in for Kopp. Samuel in for Parolin. Omajafo in for Tyson as well. Bringing that energy. Tyson hits 1-3 this quarter. And I don't know if a 6-point lead has ever felt even slimmer than it has right now for Vancouver. Hungry for this win, but Brampton just as fierce on a 3-game slide of their own. And that's a shot clock violation. Poor clock awareness for Brampton. Didn't exactly know how much time was left.
Those are the type of turnovers that you credit to your fan base, making a lot of noise, cheering on their Bandits.
Samuel Joyner looking to post inside. Odro's there. Creek dials it up from long range. Big board to Green. Creek keeps it up to Knight the third. Back to Creek. Right to Pandy. All the way. Lloyd Pandy. 6 points this quarter. Alex Serta wants to chat it over. Lloyd Pandy, 2 points in the first, quickly up to 8. His ability to go to the cup, Cheryl, has been crucial in this little Vancouver run.
Little things that you're not necessarily aware with. We talk about players that weren't there the last time these teams played. It feels like years ago. But Pandy is the X factor right now, the right place at the right time, running his lanes really well. We saw this from Jarko Joyner when he first joined the team as well. He just kept it simple and allowed teams. And obviously Mitch Creek, someone who can create for teammates. You see a lot of fingers pointing, and it's not blame. It's finger pointing as in credit for a great pass, a great read, and you can build your defense from an offense that's unselfish.
I like that you raised that point. It's recognition, and for Vancouver, recognizing the opportunity, they want to bring a W to this fan base and hoping to do so next weekend as well, as that's their tilt, a rematch against Winnipeg, and Bandits fans are bringing the energy every night, and you could be a part of it this season. Tickets are available by scanning the QR code or visiting thebandits.ca/tickets. That's going to be their Filipino celebration game. And if you thought this game was busy, that game just as busy next Saturday, Cheryl. A huge Filipino basketball community in the Lower Mainland. June 27th at Envision Financial Court.
This is one of the best times of the summer in this building. Just seeing all the diversity of what the basketball community looks like in the Lower Mainland, celebrating a lot of different groups, and a lot of different groups celebrating their role in the basketball community. So fans, if you haven't been to a game yet, step up. It's a great environment.
And Coach Serta calling that timeout recently. Chris was over on the sidelines. What do you got for us, Chris?
Yeah, Coach Serta saying we're careless. Every time we make a run, we get careless. We got to start taking care of the basketball, and we're going to be just fine. Back to you guys.
Looking to control the rock. Great analysis, Chris. Brampton down by 8. Noe the second, rise, fire. Odro gets the board, all-time franchise leader, and that's a foul against Pandy. It was hand on the rock, but the moment it touched the hip, doesn't get any easier on the whistle for Matt Goebel.
You know, in some ways for Pandy, that probably is a way to make sure that Samuel does not pick up his fourth foul, because if he had let him release and gone up to the rim, it would have been the rim protector getting into trouble. So great heads-up play by a veteran player, making things happen for his team, and then just like that, picks up a steal, and then a great transition scoring look for the Bandits to ensue.
A little bit unorthodox up the court, hot potato between Knight the third and Samuel, but either way, going to send Samuel to the free throw line. Just 5 points so far this evening. Minutes limited to just 15 and change, 1 of 3 from the free throw line. But don't be fooled, folks. This is the reigning CEBL Canadian Player of the Year, looking to have a big end to this third quarter.
Sometimes the shots don't drop. The question doesn't become, do I wait until my shot is going before I get going, or do I find other ways to impact the play of the game? And obviously, we've seen the difference defensively of when he's on the floor and off the floor. This is something sometimes that younger players struggle with. They just feel like if my shot's not dropping, I'm not contributing. He's showing his maturity in the fact that he knows the importance of what he does on both sides of the floor just by taking up space and challenging everything that comes into the paint.
10-point lead for Vancouver. East the second, rise, fire. Board goes to Samuel. Brampton, no fouls to give. Samuel right to the basket, leaves it short. Knight the third, kicks out to Creek from down under and way back. Straight out of Horsham with the three-point tray. Knight the third trying to keep Noe the second in front of him. He does so. Ambrose Hilton right there. Knight the third, good decision preventing an easy basket. Keon Ambrose Hilton recognizing the size factor.
looking at that mismatched defensive play. We've shown so many different types of lineups here. When you talk about teams that need to figure this out, this Honey Badgers team is basically the same as the last game that they've played. Down double digits in the third quarter is something that they're familiar with. But for them, they're going to have to make sure that they don't let this game get too far down, because the Bandits are playing with that sense of urgency. But you know what? So is Calgary. Calgary wanted to get rid of that 0. They didn't like being in conversations about records of total number of losses. They wanted to get that win. And so, you know, it's so interesting, all the teams and what they're fighting for, whether it's records one way or the other. Teams that have a sense of purpose on the defensive side of things can get the job done.
Ambrose Hilton hits them both. For Vancouver, holding on to a 11-point lead. Notice, inside to Creek, extra pass, Tyrese Samuel with authority in the lane.
Great recognition. Honey Badgers going into a 2-3 zone, and for a team that can play fairly big, sometimes the challenge is to still be aggressive. It was fairly passive, and the Bandits did a great job of moving. And when you have a player like Mitch Creek and you want to play a 2-3 zone against him, he's going to carve you up. He understands where the next play is going to be, gets a great little cut there. And again, for Samuel, who's maybe been struggling to score, for him to get that kind of scoring look, now he doesn't have to make a historic play on the defensive side of things and get into more defensive trouble.
It's the free throw as well, and here's Hunter inside to Odro, met at the apex by Samuel, active on offense and active on D, up the court to Odro, looking like Champ Bailey, the safety. Inside, fighting for it, back into the hands of East, the second spin cycle, every move in the book. Hunter, extra pass, active hands, Tyrese Samuel interrupting that pass. 60 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. For Brampton, still very much in this one, but Honey Badgers fans, you gotta check them out this year. Canada's Pro Basketball League is back, and you can experience it live from the CAA Center. Scan the QR code or visit honeybadgers.ca/tickets. And proving exactly why they're well worth the price of admission. Active hands around the basket, gritty play, second chance opportunity, Green converts.
When Tyrese Samuel gets pulled into that high pick and roll, he challenges the shooter, but what they give up on the downside is John Knight III ends up in a pretty tough matchup situation on the low block. And so on that one, gives up the scoring look again.
We're gonna go for the alley-oop. Tyrese thought he was fouled from behind, no call. Four-second differential, game clock, shot clock. East the second, rises, fires. Into the hands of Joyner, he's got time. Jarkel rises up. Misses from deep. Could have had an opportunity to make an extra pass, but he just rises, shoots, doesn't fall. But Vancouver, a big third quarter, outscoring the Honey Badgers 31-23. Buckle up, grab your popcorn, call a friend. You got to dial into this one. 12-point spread. Vancouver's up 72-60. Fourth quarter around the corner. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just feel your body. You feel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team's score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91-80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
Welcome back to Vancouver. It's time now for the Cruise of the Game presented by Cal Tire. And cruising and soaring was John Knight III. A key play, an energy play to end the second quarter. And that energy potentially fueling a big third quarter for Vancouver, now up double digits, Cheryl.
12 points heading into the fourth. At this point, it's about not losing your focus. How did you get here and maintaining that? For the Honey Badgers, you know that your shots are starting to drop a little bit. You just have to maintain some of the things. Again, Coach talked about it. In between quarters, in timeouts, they have 14 turnovers, and 14 points have come from that. So you're literally losing a point every single time you give up the basketball. So both teams are going to have to find a way to take care of it.
Closing time at LEC. Tyrese wants to go off the dribble. There's the swing. Joyner missed the three to end the third. Missed it to start the fourth.
Honey Badgers coming out in that 2-3 zone, a little bit flat. That time a little bit less movement for the Bandits. Tried to go to a little bit of isolation, and not necessarily the best way to have success.
Moncrief back on the floor. Inside, Moncrief, too strong. Ambrose Hilton throws it up. Bandits dodging a bullet on the offensive glass. Notice. Here's Dwayne. Tyrese on the post up. Deep post position for Tyrese. Gets the catch. Can't get the N1 to fall. Just draped all over was Keon Ambrose Hilton.
This is an interesting lineup for the Bandits. If you were to ask me what's the scoring look for this group, that's exactly it. Going inside and getting Samuel some touches defensively. This may be the team that's prepared to put their body on the line the most when it comes to the rim attack. So the Badgers are going to have to figure out what is their key to success in this last little stretch. Down 13 with another free throw to come. You're going to have to figure out what type of shots you want to knock down.
Samuel finding his rhythm at the free throw line. And that's the announcer's jinx right there. Splits a pair. Noli the second on Notice. Notice, active hands, Tyrese up top. Green's there, extra pass, Moncrief. Last touch by Noli the second. Gonna stick with Vancouver. Notice. Working the perimeter with Tyrese. At the elbow. Goes off the dribble on Moncrief. Rises right up. Can't get his own shot to fall. And he throws it back up off one leg. Heads to the free throw line. Tyrese is hyped up. He wants this W. They let him play to the surprise of Moncrief as Tyrese dropped the shoulder. Caught it, got his legs tangled up, threw it back off the glass, did not give up on the play. Knight the third and Notice back to the bench. Pandy and Joyner back in. Tyrese going back to the basket, throws it off glass again. It's his friend and the bank is open on a Saturday night at LEC. Coach Serta wants to chat things over as Vancouver padding this lead up 15. And hey fans, it's all eyes on the CEBL this summer. The Honey Badgers are wrapping up their road trip when they head to Scarborough for the next tilt, and they're facing the Shooting Stars for a mid-season Eastern Conference showdown. Tip-off is Saturday, June 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And on the home side, it's the Vancouver Bandits welcoming the Winnipeg Sea Bears, who sit atop the Western Conference, to Envision Financial Court at LEC for the first time this season. They want to get some revenge for their loss earlier this week, where it was all things Teddy Allen and Coach Cheryl. It's going to be a fun one. Tip-off is Saturday, June 27th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central. What a year for Teddy Allen, and what an acquisition Isaiah Osborne has been of late.
The man could not miss in that last game. You know, look at these matchups. If people don't have these dates circled on their calendar, this is the top guns on both sides of the conferences. What an exciting evening this Saturday is going to be.
Our Filipino celebration game tonight, our South Asian heritage game. A packed house yet again at the LEC, one of the best fan bases in the CEBL. And for Brampton, 0-3 on this road trip, looking to avoid falling to 7-5. Vancouver looking to improve to 8-4. Still plenty of clock before target score time. Coach Serta recognizing that Tyrese Samuel has come to play in the second half. A quick timeout here in the fourth.
Down 15, a few minutes before you head into target score time. You really need to be able to make a run. Great play to get coming out of a timeout. Ambrose Hilton showing his length at the rim. And now you need to respond on the defensive side of things.
Tyrese with force. They're going to let them play. Gathers himself. All the contact. Gets it once again. As Moncrief and Tyrese trading pleasantries, making dinner plans. Tyrese wondering where the foul call was. But this is the game within a game, folks. And what a joy to watch as two of the best Canadian posts in the CEBL going at it. East rises up. Right into the hands as Tyrese couldn't get there. Pandy collects the boards, doing his part on the glass. Joyner with the play call. Running the QB as Perlin gets set to check back in. ISO Joyner has Odro on him right to the cup. Jarkel with the patience and the touch. Pandy, look at the hustle. And we're going to get called here against Pandy on the push. He's going to want another look at that one. All over the Brampton ball handler. He's smiling about it. That's stingy defense, and that's exactly why he won 2024 CEBL Defensive Player of the Year, Lloyd Pandy.
One of the statements that play makes, despite the foul, is as soon as you cross over half, you are meeting a wall. And Mitch Creek loved the hustle, loved the defensive intensity. Second rim attack here, kind of out of a breakage of play. Gonna have to figure out that rotation.
Creek gets it back, bobbled around off the back of Cam Tyson. He can't believe it. East is second, looking to turn up the pace. Here's Tyson looking to shoot his way back into it. He does so. His second tray. Don't poke the bear. Back to Joyner. Open from three. He lets it fly. Jarko responds in kind.
We are seeing the definition of playing through bodies here. Every play, tough play, turnover, and finish.
And it all starts with Lloyd Pandy picking up full court, draws Creek over, and there's a steal on it, breakout. Vancouver up 17.
Understanding the importance of trying to continue this onslaught here from the defensive side, not letting the Honey Badgers getting into rhythm right now. Cameron Tyson showing a little bit of frustration with that last turnover, but these are missed opportunities. You still have a minute or two to at least get it to 10 or 12. Finding a way to make sure that you know what the game plan is, and I'm pretty sure turnovers is not one of it.
That pass went airborne, another possession for Vancouver. Kopp to Creek, inside with the left. A rare miss for Creek as he leaves it short. Wants to go back up. He's fouled on the catch. He says, I should have had that one. Vancouver, a healthy 17-point lead, but with the adept shooting of Brampton, they could shoot their way back into this. It has not been their night from three, just 8 of 30. A big part of that is a quiet evening for Cam Tyson. Joyner, rise, fires. Moncrief the board. Pandy rips it out. Lloyd Pandy, he ain't a fan favorite already. He will be after tonight. Extra possession, Vancouver. Creek dials it up. Parolin fighting for it, bouncing around. Tapped back to Parolin. The patience. And Odro forced to commit the foul. Lloyd Pandy stamping himself all over the Brampton zone.
He does not have to say much to help this team understand why he came here. Making something out of nothing. These are the breakdown plays that I probably would say that the Bandits have lost almost every single one of those in the last 2 games. That's where you gain that extra possession. And obviously when you're playing with the lead, that's a sense of urgency that you need to maintain your lead. But when you're down as well, whether it's 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12, coming with that extra sense of purpose is exactly what the Bandits need.
Parolin hits them both as Pandy plus 18 tonight, 4 of 5, 8 points, 20 minutes. There's a lot more stats not showing up on the sheet. He's been everywhere. Toughest assignment on Shawnee's the second. Moncrief. 6 to work. He's the second, stumbles, has to hoist it up in a hurry. Can't get it to go. Wouldn't have counted if it went. Miller Kopp, Lloyd Pandy, suffocating defense on the perimeter.
Putting players in places where they can have success. This lineup for the Bandits, just unselfish, making really good plays for each other. And this is where Dom Parolin does shine. He doesn't have to do everything. He just has to do very specific things well.
Creek gets to his left, throws it up. A little bit of touch from the Aussie. Quickly up to Green. Tyson. Batted around. Joyner looking to explode as Creek keeps it alive. Last touch by Mitch. The Rock is going to stay with the yellow and black. Back comes in Landers Noli the second. Working with 18 points, a team high for Landers. A power outage here in the second half for Landers Noli. And for Brampton, facing a 21-point margin to get back here. Can they trim down before we enter target score time? Stops and scores. Moncrief off the dribble. Creek rotates defensively, denies him at the rim. Next whistle brings target score time. There's Miller, corner 3. Miller time at LEC. How do you do, Mr. Kopp? Creek takes the foul and brings the whistle. Vancouver up by 24. Target score time right around the corner. It's going to be set at 102. Hold on to your seats, folks. Vancouver looking to improve to 5-1 at home. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CEBL action live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama.
That anything can happen.
Big players step up in big time.
He is cooking.
Welcome back to closing time at the LEC, and it's target score as the fans are on their feet. We got a t-shirt toss to make them rowdy, and the Bandits looking to send them home happy after their annual South Asian Heritage game. And it has all started on the defensive end for interim head coach Ransford Brempong. Breaking out to a 21-9 scoring run here in the fourth quarter. Shawnee's the second, held scoreless for the majority of the second half, just 2 points to his name, Cheryl. And it has been largely in part due to some great defensive minutes from Lloyd Pandy.
Lloyd Pandy is making a statement, but again, the ability to be a defensive leader, if you had asked me what's been missing since the beginning of this season, we've definitely had some offensive leadership, people being able to knock down some big shots, having some big games offensively. We've seen some record-breaking individual scoring stats, but a defensive leader is maybe something that's been missing. So great addition at this point of the season, great resurgence, and it's brought out the defensive urgency for every other player when you have someone that's making that statement. We're getting those defensive touches again, getting some of those great just 2-3 touch defensive stops to defensive rebounds, and now it's just about finishing this off.
Creek able to switch hands mid-air. Vancouver inches a little bit closer. East the second. We're going to go right to the cup. He swings it. Ambrose Hilton's hit one from there previously. Big board to Odro. Rise and fire. Doesn't fall. Here's Samuel going right to the basket. Throws it up. And one. Tyrese Samuel polishing off the sweat. Flexing on the Brampton defense. Tyrese goes right at Noli the second, and he's up to 17 points and 9 boards, and that's Noli the second picking up his fourth foul. Vancouver 4 points away from sending Brampton home with their fourth straight loss. Tyson, nice bounce pass inside. Gathering, Ambrose Hilton, met at the rim by Samuel. It's going to stay with the Honey Badgers. Samuel, great job not to commit his fifth foul. Tyson, hunting for it. East the second, pass Joyner, throws it up, soft touch off glass. That was pretty from Sean East the second.
Finally figured it out in terms of how to solve the Tyrese Samuel problem. High finish off the glass. One of those shots that the defender doesn't even really have a chance to challenge.
And you can see Cam Tyson was ready to fall no matter what. As Mitch Creek was backing him down, he gave him the shoulder once, telegraphed the next one. Great defensive play from Cam Tyson. He saw that one coming a mile away. Down 27. Shawnee's the second, gets the mismatch. Right around Tyrese. Back-to-back scores with a left for Sean East. Can't get complacent here if you're Vancouver. Tyrese, that's complacency right there, and that's going to send him out of the game. Held on to the rock for too long. No, I thought he was at 4. He's still in it. My apologies, folks. But on the hold, it's going to send Sean East to the line regardless.
Parolin came in and played some really critical minutes there, making sure that he didn't pick up his 4th earlier. So now it's just about making sure that the wheels don't fall off. This Brampton Honey Badgers team, they have the ability to knock down. They went back to back to back, big threes in target score time against Winnipeg. Not enough to win that game, but a pretty good statement. So Sean East misses that one.
Tough catch for Tyrese, too far ahead.
A little bit sloppy here for the Bandits to finish this off. You are 2 possessions away, but why give your opponent 6 or 7 in the meantime?
Extra looks, Pandy with the board, who else? Joyner on the break. Off his leg as Cam Tyson gets back. And these are some of the moments we've seen from Vancouver when they're up big. We saw it in Kelowna against the Mamba. It's those finishing off possessions that sometimes they take their foot off the gas, allow a team a little bit of daylight, but hoping to close the book on Brampton. Up 23. Shawnee's the second. Couple baskets in target score time. Vancouver allowing a lot of offensive rebounds. Tyrese now at 4. 1 away. Haven't seen any Parolin recently, but for the offense, Cheryl, a little bit out of sync right now for Vancouver. What's it going to take to close this one out?
Well, if you're Coach Rans, you're telling the team, settle down, guys. Doesn't need to be some crazy play. Jarkel has been playing with controlled speed this entire game. They've been moving the ball and getting great team scores. But more importantly, they've been solid defensively. So allowing Sean East the second at this point to be able to turn the corner and get to the rim multiple times is probably not the statement that you want to finish with. When you know that you're going to have to sit in this game for a week, you want to be able to watch the game start to finish and say, that was the full effort. Let's assume right now that we're getting ready for a rematch with Winnipeg, and the score is 98-97. This is not how we would want to finish that game. You don't want to practice bad habits. They don't want to build bad habits right now, especially because who knows the next time that we're going to see these lineups together. We have Mitch Creek on his way to support his Australian squad getting ready for the World Cup qualifier. So these games are actually important in the sense that being able to go back to it in a few weeks' time and saying, let's remember, this is the defensive statement that we wanted to make. Great additions, but we constantly see changes within this roster, so they need to make the statement for themselves moving forward into a game that means that much more going into next weekend.
Brampton hunting a miracle. They face Scarborough next. Can they pull one out of a hat here and escape Vancouver? And there's a steal from Tyrese. Gonna calmly give it back to Pandy. Here's Cobb. Inside to Cobb, that's a little elbow J, doesn't fall. Pandy right there. Hustling in right behind Tyson. Possession's gonna stick with the Honey Badgers. But Pandy, a little bit of hustle after the miss. Cobb didn't quite expect that pass from Creek, rushed it, had a little bit more space to work with. Daylight still here for Brampton. Have to be perfect. Here's Noli the second. Off from deep. Jarkel around the screen. Five to work. Jarkel off the dribble on Noli the second. Jarkel Joyner nearly gets it to fall. He's going to head to the free throw line. Little hesitation move in the lane. He's heading to the stripe.
Showing some frustration here, Notley the second, picking up not just the foul, but also a technical foul. And with that, disqualified.
And a big loss for Brampton. Notley the second, a team high 18 points. Kopp hits the first. Shawnee's the second, trailing with 16. Odro with 10 and 7 in his own right. Joyner now steps to the free throw line after Kopp hits the extra free throw. One possession away, but Brampton's going to get the rock again regardless. Second one spills out for Joyner. 22 points and 8 assists on the night for Jarkel. And Pandy getting tangled up with Sean East the second. Both teams can't commit any fouls the rest of the way, and Sean East steps to the free throw line. Hits the first. We said earlier, Sean East last year, part of the 50-40-90 club, 50 from the field, 40% or greater from three, and 90% from the free throw line. He hits them both, doing the exact same at a huge offseason pickup for these Honey Badgers. Can't allow a single basket. Up top to Tyrese, collects, throws it up. Doesn't go. Pandy loses it to Moncrief. Down 23. Moncrief off the dribble, goes right to the basket with a little bit of finish off glass. Nice move around Tyrese. Here's the play call from Coach Rands. ISO Joyner. Wants to take Moncrief off the dribble. Lost it. Tyson gets all the way past Kopp. Coach Rand says enough is enough. We got to talk this over and draw things up. That's the 16th turnover charged to Vancouver. In Vancouver, this lead as far north as close to 30, I believe, Cheryl, might have been around 27. We'd have to double check that, but now down to 19. And you talk about situational possessions. Yes, you have a large lead, but the next time you're in this situation, you may be down 2, you may be up 1. We saw this against Scarborough last Monday. They tied it in target score time, and then they allowed Scarborough to slip away with what could have been their ball game. And right now, not at risk of slipping away quite yet, but you want to build good habits and close this thing out.
Target score ending creates this false sense of security that you're closer to winning the game than the other team is, and you're not looking at the clock trying to run the play out. You get into this habit of target score ending and who wants to hit the last shot and what we want the last shot to look like. And there's times right now where they've gone back to isolation, slow down everyone watching the ball handler go, and it's not necessarily been how they got to this point in the game. So keep it simple. Find the best scoring look, take it. They've had about 4 or 5 situations right now that we could have been probably in the car driving home at this point already. So at some point it just needs to be just get the best scoring look. Don't try to force a scoring look. Take what the defense gives you. Send the fans home happy.
The men tasked with doing so, Creek, Joyner, Pandy, Tyrese, and Miller Kopp. We're going to wave goodbye to these Honey Badgers, and Mitch Creek gets the call. Off glass! And good night, Brampton! Mitch Creek plays hero at LEC on a Saturday night. The finishing touch with his offhand. Vancouver improves to 8-4. Brampton falls to 7-5, suffering their 4th straight defeat. How sweet it is to return home for Vancouver, winning this one by a score of 102-81. Vancouver hoping to build off a great defensive performance. And how about Mitch Creek, the ending blow?
Let the leader lead. You see, we talked about this last year, the ability to find his voice and help players figure things out. We're talking about someone who understands the program so well, traveled to so many different programs with the understanding that he's there to help them win not just games but win championships. And so with some younger players needing a little bit of guidance, stepping in, and especially when they're responding to how they want to play defense, this was not just a critical win for them, it was critical from a defensive perspective, but even more importantly, the buy-in and the leadership that this group got from more than just one player, that's what is going to win a championship.
Mitch Creek ending this one, 26 points on 10 of 19 from the field, just 1 of 5 from deep, but it's the 8 rebounds, it's the 8 assists. You can see him leading that huddle right now. He's going to be hopping on a plane, World Cup Australian national team prep right around the corner, but what a consummate pro and a true leader for this squad. And Mitch Creek is your Booster Juice Player of the Game, joined now by Chris Wiggins. Over to you, Chris.
Well, that's more like it, and it wouldn't be a CEBL summer without you standing beside me. You guys exploded in the second half. Talk to me about that second half. Take me through it.
I think the first half we were a bit sluggish. A lot of distractions the last 48 hours, and honestly, we got new guys in, some guys out. We have to hold guys accountable to what we have as a standard here at the Bandits, and what happened a couple of days ago is unacceptable on multiple people's parts, but we had to be better today. So we talked on a podcast today about our defense was shit. 81's not bad, so I'm pretty happy with that. I thought the second half we just calmed ourselves. Lloyd's brand new, he's been here for 16 seconds, plays a phenomenal game, defends the best guy, plays 1 through 5. Just a really admirable effort by the guys tonight.
You guys are down a few bodies, both in a jersey and both in a suit. How proud are you of this group?
Man, I just massive shout out to Kyle Julius. This organization is what it is because of him. He needs his signature on the court, regardless of what happens in the future there. You know, I love him, we love him. I know every Bandits fan here loves him. Everyone you see in this organization is here because of him. So I know he's watching this game at home. We love you, mate. We can't wait to have you here again. But that's it. Next man down, one man down, next man up. And I thought, you know, everyone stepped up tonight. Rand's first coaching debut, gets a win. 100% win rate right now, so the big fella's doing well.
You're off to represent your country on the world stage. How does this team keep rolling without you?
They just keep doing it, man. They got all the pieces, they got all the guys, they got the energy, they got the juice from Lou. Everyone has what they need right here. It's within everybody. So one person doesn't make a team, and you know, one win doesn't make a season. So we have to chip away daily. We reset the 24-hour clock, and we come into work the next day and pay the rent.
Go celebrate. Enjoy. There is Mitch Creek leading all scorers tonight as we send it back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Chris. Mitch Creek, the captain, all smiles after a big bounce-back victory for Vancouver, but they're going to have to do so again, Cheryl, next weekend against Winnipeg. But it wasn't just Creek tonight. It was the new acquisition of Pandy, Jarkel Joyner at the guard position, a full team win, and the defense shone through.
If you look at it, forcing 24 assists, but if you look at it, 19 turnovers that they forced, getting a lot of points from a lot of different players. One of the things that has been a common trend throughout this entire season is when the Bandits have 4 or 5 players in double digits, they have success. And if you look at 2 playmakers in Joyner and in Mitch Creek, you're finding players that are just excited to get the next player going. So both teams are going to have some soul searching to do with training sessions coming up. One of the hardest parts about the wheels falling off on the road and then having to quickly get into the next game is that you haven't had multiple players to fix the problem, or practices, or whatever the situation may be. A little bit of consistency. Coach Rands, Coach Julius in the gym, training, getting the job done from a practice perspective, knowing the grudge matches have been so much fun to watch. CBL, what a show that these teams are putting on. We saw the Scarborough showdown a little bit a while ago, and now we get the grudge match from Winnipeg, so it's going to be really exciting.
Teddy Allen versus Jarkel Joyner next weekend. Get your tickets. Filipino celebration game. We have plenty of more post-game analysis coming right up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CBL postgame. It's a big victory for Vancouver, improving to 8-4. We'll be right back. You're watching CBL on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You know that trip I kept thinking about? I finally took it. It turned into open highways, lakeside stops, sunsets that seemed to last a little longer, less scrolling, more seeing. And at the end of each day, Sandman made it simple. Comfortable stays in the right places, so I could do more. Booking that stay? Best decision I made. Your summer, made in Canada. Book direct for the best rates.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Welcome back to Envision Financial Court at Langley Event Center. Fans going home happy after another South Asian Heritage game. And Vancouver, it wasn't always pretty, but their defense really shone tonight. Coach Rans Brempong steps in. Kyle Julius not here tonight due to an incident review the CBL League office is looking at, but Rans Brempong steps in, does the job, Cheryl. And Rans, we'll see what happens for next time, but really stepping up and bringing that Kyle Julius defensive mantra.
This is the culture. This is next man up type of mentality. We've seen players come and go when it comes to other commitments, waiting for players with their professional commitments overseas, and everyone really taking care of the ball and finding ways to create offense from that. You look at some of the numbers, points in the paint, 54 for Vancouver, 24 assists. They forced 19 turnovers despite giving up 24 offensive rebounds. That might be one thing that they have to go look at and see if they can correct it, but when you right the ship, heading into a week of practice, everybody's life gets a little bit better.
And fast break points, they got off on the run 29-8, and it was a fast-paced CEBL game, and there's plenty more to go. The next CEBL broadcast, you can celebrate Father's Day with a CEBL doubleheader. First, it's Khalil Ahmad and the Niagara River Lions traveling to Scarborough to take on Charles Bediako and the Shooting Stars from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre. Tip-off at 4 p.m. Eastern. Then the Saskatoon Mamba ride their winning streak up to our nation's capital, where they take on Javonte Smart and the Ottawa Blackjacks. Action begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. You can catch it all on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus. And what a night it was, folks. Brampton looking to right the ship. They're facing Scarborough next. Vancouver awaits the Winnipeg Sea Bears in a rematch. Got to get your tickets for next Saturday. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. For the entire team up in the booth, Carson Faber and co, Chris Wiggins, our guy on the sidelines, and Cheryl Jean-Paul. I'm Andrew Savory. We'll catch you next time. Have a great evening, and we'll see you for more action on CEBL Plus, CBC Sports YouTube, and CBC Gem.
Knock 'em out the run, knock 'em out the run, knock 'em out the run with your head top down for some action.